next guest is always an exciting fighter. The UFC Bantamweight Gustavo Lopez fighting this weekend versus Adrian Yanez. I had to kind of think in my head there, but yeah, Adrian Yanez, a great fight, a very stylistic matchup between the pair, and it's going to be a fan-friendly, entertaining fight. How's it going, Gustavo?
Man, I'm going absolutely amazing. Just another beautiful day here in Las Vegas, so just staying ready, man.
Yeah, and staying ready. Is the weight okay? Is the weight down?
Oh, weight's perfect. Weight's exactly where it needs to be. Don't expect it to be that big of a issue with the cut. We're always just staying ready. We're always pretty close, but the weight cut's just another part of the process. Everybody at the UFC PI has been helping me get ready for it, so don't see that much of an issue.
Yeah, a lot of fighters say that the UFC PI is a big addition to their camp. How has that helped you?
Oh, it's amazing, man. They provide all the food that you need, your vitamins. They make sure your weight's coming down right. They do everything everything. They give you everything you need to be on weight and be ready.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll get away with that was supposed to be my first question anyway. Straight to the point. You fought some great guys in your career, as we can see on your record: Marab, Andre Ewell, Anthony Birchak in your last fight, John Castaneda. The list goes on and on and on for you. But having that said, without all the fighters that you fought in your career, what one fighter did you like hit the hardest in that fight? What one fighter can you remember that he had some power?
Hit the hardest. Huh. I don't think I've been get hit clean yet by any of the fighters yet. So not really sure. Uh, Everybody pretty much hits pretty hard, man. But I think let me see. No, man, I haven't got. I don't think I've gotten to create any clean hits from anybody. I've been very fortunate to be able to be very elusive and get in people's face and take them down or just moving just the right amount of angle just to get away from it. We'll see. They say this guy hits hard, but we're planning on putting him upside down.
Well, you finally made it to the UFC after three back-to-back wins. And then the UFC gave you Merab Dvalishvili, one of the hottest prospects in the UFC in the bantamweight division. They done you no favors in your UFC debut. You took it on short
No,
notice. Was it fun to jump in straight away into the deep end?
oh, it was great, man. It was absolutely great. It just showed me that I belong in the division. Because Marab actually showed up at our gym and I got some rounds in with them. Now with a full camp and being in shape, and he's like, "Hey, man, don't ask for a rematch." So that just shows where I belong, where I'm at in the division. You know, I know I belong in the top 10, the top 15, but it's a process. So we'll continue to keep on fighting. We'll continue to keep on winning. We'll eat all these guys up until we get to the top.
Yeah, so we'll quickly talk about Marab. I'm not too sure if you see the video. Quite went a little bit viral when he dived into the little pond and he cracked his head.
Yeah, to talk to him, I talked to him a little about it, man. He's a crazy guy. He loves to just, think about him. He just has an engine. He's keeps on going. So that's mostly what it was. But technical wise, I feel like I'm a better fighter than him. So
Mhm.
I'm not really worried about running that back. But if we ever get the chance, it's gonna be a scary night for him.
After that, you bounce back with a win over Anthony Birchak. Looking back at it now, was that a perfect way to bounce back after a loss?
Yeah, definitely. Regardless of who I fought, it was gonna be a win. I felt great. Everything's going as planned. So I'm just getting better, man. I'm slowly getting better. People haven't seen my ground yet because that's where I thrive at. And lately, I just been knocking everybody out.
Yeah, that BJJ brown belt from 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu. That's something special.
It is. It's not really easy to get, so it just kind of shows where I belong. But again, my last couple fights, I've been knocking dudes out, and again, it's just the setup to get them to the ground. So things just don't go. People just get knocked out before they get to it because the whole plan for me is usually to get pressure on people and put them on the ground because that's where I thrive, man. That's where I'm a monster at. You know, big fighters and big grapplers are good until they get to the ground, and then we're gonna have an issue. Giannis is a great striker, but how good is his ground? Is he a high level grappler? Could he wrestle? He was talking a little bit about him liking the scramble, and some people like the scramble, but not again. They like to swim in like little kiddie pools, and I bring people deep in the deep ocean, and I drown people, so it's different.
Yeah, you said Adrian Yanez. That kind of a great segue onto my next question. Who is your next assignment? He's regarded one of the, he said there, a prospect inside the UFC, and they're throwing another prospect your way, and he's openly said in an interview that he's expecting a vicious KO against you. What's your thoughts on that?
That's what he says, and that's what he's hoping for, man. He's hoping that's the case. He's hoping that he catches me, hoping that he knocks me out. He's hoping, it doesn't get to the ground. That's a lot of hope, I know I know standing, it's gonna be a bad night for him, and I know on the ground it's gonna be a bad night for him. I'm not hoping for anything. I know I'm putting in the work, and I'm gonna when I get this guy, when I get a hold of this guy, he's gonna get in some trouble.
Well, you kind of touched up on it there. I said my next question was that while we're talking about the matchup, where do you kind of see this fight taking place?
A lot of it, I see it on the ground, man. I see we say, I feel like we're gonna sit in the middle. We're gonna trade some punches, and then I'm gonna get a hold of this guy, and then it's gonna be a bad night, regardless of if I keep it standing or if I take him down or I do whatever I want with him. You see my power. I hit hard, and that's all he has. He has a chance to knock me out.
Yeah, yeah.
But what happens if he trips? What happens if I take him down? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do in the deep water?
So we look at it now. What do you reckon happens when he gets to that deep water?
He's gonna drown, man. I'm gonna put him in. But it's just different. When I get on top of people, it's a different level. I don't feel like a 35 when on top of you. I feel like a heavyweight. It's just that pressure of my wrestling skills is just different, And again, I feel like he's just hoping for all this stuff, and you know, I know I'm putting in the work. I know I feel good. I feel confident in my striking, but I know if he touches the ground, it's gonna be a bad night for him.
Yeah, that was a great way of describing it. By the way, you said when you hit the ground, you feel like a heavyweight. You obviously don't look like one though.
Definitely.
Definitely. So when we look at Adrian Yanez, his skill set, where he's good at, is there something Camp that you've maybe worked on that you could capitalize on come fight day?
Yeah, 100%. We've worked a lot on our striking, but just not just we're gonna keep it standing. Hey, if I knock him out, I knock him out. But again, we're working on getting inside of the guy's face and making it a dogfight. I feel like he likes having clean fights. I feel like he likes having that clean boxing. He's hoping to get that clean knockout, but it's a puncher's chance. He has a chance. I'm not saying if anything can happen, but I know if I get a hold of this guy and if I hit him, he's gonna have some trouble.
Yeah, he's a tough opponent, highly regarded in division as one of the best prospects that we have in the Bantamweight division right now. What does a win over Yanez do in your career?
And I don't know, man. I feel just kind of cements where I belong. Because people think where am I at, but they haven't seen all my fights. People, they have me as an underdog still against this guy, and I'm like, who has he beat? Why are they saying he's a favorite? Why are people so much on this guy? He has two knockouts, yes, against against who? So who's he fought that made them put him in like, oh, has he gone the ground? Does he have a good wrestling background? Who is this guy? What credentials does he have? Then they're making this guy such a prospect.
Yeah, yeah. Last few questions from me. So UFC 259 in your division, the bantamweight strap was on the line. Ended in controversy. Pete Yan, Aljamain Sterling. You got any thoughts on that and what happened?
Ah, it was a good fight, man. But Peter just looked phenomenal. He looked great. It's striking. I wish he could have got more aggressive. Uh, but um, Sterling just put it on. Had a good game plan, but he couldn't take him to the ground. I expected to Peter to be more aggressive on this fight and Sterling to just get out there and just do more damage. But sadly, it did end the way it ended. I feel they're gonna run it back, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of DQs, well, kind of no contest DQs happening recently. We saw two on the weekend. We saw a DQ, Eric Anders, or that was a no contest. Eric Anders down Stewart, and then obviously the main event. But yeah, what do you reckon about changing the gloves? Maybe would that is that something you're fond of?
I don't think it's a glove, man. I think people just got to be more just aware of their hands. Stop opening up, keep them closed. It's just part of the sport. They'll figure something else out. But for now, we're just gonna keep on fighting. That's what we are. We're gonna fight.
Last question. You're fighting on the fight night with Derek Brunson and Kevin Holland. Main event in the card. Who's your pick?
No idea, man. People been asking me, what fight card am I on? I'm like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to anything other than my fight. So all I know, I'm gonna go out there and get that W.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see you fight.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.